Sorry, please ask.
Uh, so actually, I wanted to add to what he said that as we increase the ISO, I have seen this because I did a project a while back on film digitization in which I had been using a bare sensor of a camera. And I had found that there were two types of gain. One was analog gain, which was applied to the signal,
Yeah.
and there was the digital gain, which was applied after the signal had been processed. So, as he said, there was a voltage increase that I saw while metering and while exposing the thing.
Okay, I am not aware. Because I am not from the electronics field.
No,
It may be possible. You have done that, that's good. So what exactly are you doing? How did you manage to do that?
So I was just working on a film digitizer, like to digitize the film photographs that I had taken.
No, but what have you studied in it? You have studied the electronics things? You are from electronics line?
No, I am not from the electronic line. I was just making the project and I had to delve into some electronics.
That's very good. That's very good. Good, good.
And so I wanted to add that for the dual ISO thing, digital gain is not applied. You said after the image processing, the digital gain is applied. But while for the dual ISO sensors, there are special types of like you front illumination, back illumination is there. No? So basically, what I have seen from like the coding and everything I did was that while talking about dual sensor ISOs, technically the bare die of the sensor that remains the same, but the analog gain and digital gain are changed in a way that the noise can be effectively reduced in post. It isn't exactly gone, but it can be effectively reduced.
Reduce. Correct. Absolutely. Yes.
Sir, in the case of a dual sensor camera, just saying that if the if the difference in stops is quite large, like for example 800 and 12,800. Let's just say hypothetically speaking, I wanted to set the exposure, I want to set it to lies at 6400. So when I change, so is it better if I go down from 12,800 or is it better if I go up from 800? Or does that not make much of a difference?
See, one thing which is very important in digital cameras is what is called dynamic range, and I will be talking about it today. So, as you go higher in ISOs, for time being, let us assume, only assume that there is no difference in the noise, lower ISO or higher ISO, but your dynamic range is going down. That is one of the biggest problems. We require a high dynamic range. The dynamic range goes down. So today, let me finish that. Okay, the thing is, you have a delete, you have a format on your camera. So what happens when you delete the picture? The picture goes, correct? Right or wrong? And what happens when you format? You format everything goes away from the card. Right? Wrong. Right or wrong? Right. Wrong. Wrong. When you format, okay, first when you delete, the picture is still there. The picture is still there. You are telling the electronics not to read that. When you format, it removes, but it does not remove it completely. It can be brought back by software. But there is something called low-level format, which only few Canon cameras have. If you do a low-level format, everything is gone. So they found that a lot of people by mistake used to do low-level format by mistake and then could not retrieve back. So they removed that low-level format now in many of their cameras. Okay. So be careful when you are formatting. Whenever you put a new card inside, you have to format that card. Supposing I use his card because my card is over, he gives me his card. I have to format that card in my camera. So his pictures will go up. Then only I can use it in mine. Now when I give it back to him, he has to format it in his camera for it to work properly. So that is the point you have to remember. Now, you know that for digital cameras we shoot either in JPEG, RAW and some cameras offer TIFF also. What is JPEG full name? Joint Photographic Experts Group. I'm trying to avoid writing as much as possible because things around over here and I ask them for a new word today. So whenever is necessary, I'll start. Okay. Joint Photographic Experts Group. That's a group that has formed this thing. TIFF is 10 image file format. Initially, there were some cameras which allow you to shoot in TIFF, but the files are so horrendously big that it really does not make sense. Plus, when you want to transfer it to the computer, it takes a lot of time, so it's not. Now they have removed this. And the another thing is RAW. You must all heard RAW. So do you shoot in JPEG or do you shoot in RAW? Both.
No.
Anyone here does not shoot in RAW or shoots only in JPEG? Then why is JPEG given?
I shoot in JPEG only.
JPEG.
Pure JPEG.
So why do you shoot only in JPEG? Both ways I will ask you. Why do you shoot only in JPEG?
Convenience.
What is the reason for shooting in JPEG?
So sometimes when I don't really want to, when I do want to touch the picture after I click it, and I just like what I see in camera, that time I shoot only JPEG. Otherwise, if I'm doing specially for work or something, then I plan to do it in RAW, where I have the flexibility later.
Alright. So I have seen a photographer taking pictures at a birthday party. I knew the photographer, and he was shooting only in JPEG. Not only that, as you know, JPEG, you can put 3 levels of JPEG in your camera. The best level, the medium, and the lower level. So he was shooting in the lowest level. I asked him why. He said they told me they want just small pictures, 4 inch by 6 inch. Why should I fill up my card? It so happened that those people said, this picture I like very much. I want it enlarged, as large as you can. They couldn't get it done. They couldn't get it done. So my suggestion is, always if you're shooting in JPEG, always shoot at the maximum quality, the highest quality, even though you don't need it. Now, you ask people will complain about JPEG. That is the lousy thing and this and that. No. JPEG is very, very good. I have made 20 inches by 30 inch prints. No one has ever said that this is normal JPEG. But RAW has that additional advantage. RAW files are approximately 4 times larger than the best of the JPEG files. So it has more data. More the data, the more you can manipulate, more you can edit. When you shoot in JPEG, what happens is that automatically the camera enhances the color saturation, sharpness, and contrast. That's why many a time the JPEG file will look better than a RAW file. But in most cases, in almost every case, the sharpening applied to a JPEG file is extra. Actually, you can make out from the picture if you know where to see. So JPEG has a problem and these are baked into it. You cannot remove it from them. With RAW, you have the choice how to process it. So if I give the same RAW file to 10 professionals, you can have 10 different variations of the picture and all won't be correct. It looks different, but they are still correct. You have the choice to turn the picture the way you want. You don't take a picture, you make a picture. Remember that part. So, as far as possible, you must shoot in RAW. Now, if you come to the end of your card and you don't have extra card, under those conditions, you go, now very few pictures are left, I'll change back to JPEG. That's another story. But you must always go with extra cards. How many cards should you carry? With little experience, you would know, okay, I need so many cards. 3 to 4. 3 to 4. If you are normally shooting 3 to 4 cards, I would take 8 cards. Always take double. See, there is every chance that your card will get corrupted. for some reason or the other. When you don't want something to happen, it happens. So that's one thing. You could lose a card. So carry extra. I'll tell you something. In 2009, our friends had been to Africa, and we had purchased cards from one company. I don't want to name it because I'm not trying to design that company. We purchased 16 cards, CF cards. All the 16 failed in Africa. We were stuck. We had to spend dollars. And you know, foreign exchange is difficult then. But that is the only thing we could do over there. Always carry extra card. Whatever number you feel you want to shoot, you must carry double. Even for wedding photographers, I tell, if your client has said, "Do roll karna," take 4 rolls. If they said, "I want 10 rolls," you take 20 rolls. You never know because sometimes they say, "No, take more." Then you can't say, "मैं 3 roll बोला था, मेरा 3 roll खत्म हो गया." You will never be called again. You have to carry extra. That is your responsibility. So same way with the cards. And coming to cards, you should now get cards which are fast write. See there on the card a number is given. A card has 2 speeds. One is read speed and one is write speed. Write, W-R-I-T-E. The write speed is the important speed to us. And these guys put the read speed. 90 MB per second. Shopkeeper said, देखो 90 MB है, fast है. Bullshit. It is half of that. Practically half of that is the right speed. Modern cameras can shoot very fast. You put a burst, like my camera goes 30 frames a second. Not that I want to do it every time because I end up with thousands of pictures and then selecting the right one is a pain in the rear. But if you want, you can shoot. So, if your card is not fast enough, it will not take the pictures fast enough. There is also something called buffer. How many of you buy a digital camera without knowing how much buffer is? None of you must have done that. You have to check what is the buffer size. What kind of photographer are you? Are you a wedding photographer? Are you a landscape photographer? Are you a wildlife bird photographer? If you are a wildlife photographer, bird photographer, then you must have a big buffer in your camera. But if you are a landscape photographer, it does not matter because you don't shoot landscape like that, like a machine gun. You should wait, take the other picture, look at the lighting. That's how you do it. But if in action shot, your sports photographer will have to shoot fast. Have you ever seen photographs? Everybody must have seen in videos now also. A bird flying, slow motion, coming into the water, picking up the fish and going away. Okay? How do you think they done that? That is, of course, that's a video. But if you don't want to shoot video, what will you do? And if you have 30 frames a second firing, will do because video is 24 frames a second. So every little thing, when the wing is this way, every little time it catches it. It is impossible that if you are shooting 1 or 2 frames to catch it at the right moment. Impossible. It just doesn't happen. You have to shoot continuously at that time. So your buffer has to be big. If the buffer fills up, then you can't do anything. My first digital camera was a Nikon D100, I told you all yesterday. It had a buffer for 6 raw files. 6. So if I shoot tick, 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 tick. Now imagine I have been to Bandhavgarh and I suddenly find a tiger chasing some other animal. And I fired 6 shots, but it is still chasing me. Now I have to suck my thumb because I can't do anything about it. The camera locks. It used to take 2 minutes for the buffer to get it. We have come a long way. Now I also got the Z6 that is unlimited buffer. I can go 1,000 pictures continuously. It will be madness to do that, but the capacity is there. So when you buy a camera, it is important to find out what is the buffer size and what are the cards available. Cards are now available, fortunately, fast cards are available. In the earlier days, we used to warn everybody. Of course, fast cards are good, but is your camera capable of writing fast? If your camera was not capable of writing fast, you are wasting money buying a fast card. Now that is not so, because every camera writes pretty fast now, but the buffers are still relatively small. So if you are an action photographer, means wildlife, sports, bird photographer, any action that you are photographing, then you got to have a large buffer and get extra long. And if you like to shoot videos, then I have not brought the data today, but I have it at home. How much of how much capacity is filled up in 1 minute of 4K, 6K, and 8K. It's just mind-blowing amount of data it churns out. And about 4K and all, I have only seen one 4K video for about 5-10 seconds in Germany. I don't even have a 4K video, so I don't shoot in 4K. What will I do with shooting in 4K when I can't see it back in 4K? But there is another advantage. If you are shooting in 4K, you can make at least an 8x10 picture, good quality picture from that. And I'm telling you, a time may come when still photography will go away. Only video will remain. 4K, 6K, 8K, and maybe further up, who knows. And you will be taking out picture from there. So think about learning video. Video is very, very important.